Welcome people, time for another 70 Chronicles. This one's a little bit on the fly. My good wife and myself are away for the weekend, but we found a lovely old little church with a graveyard, so I couldn't resist. The only thing is I don't have my equipment with me, excuse the headway, and I'm having to fill on my own phone and photograph on my phone. So let's get into it. We're here today in the small town of Borth near Aberystwyth in mid Wales, and the church and graveyard that we're here today to see is St Mathews. It's a lovely Victorian style church. A little bit of history. Around 1863 the first railway line and railway station was brought into Borth. Borth was originally a small sleepy little fishing village. The sea is just over there. That's part of the headland there. Well, obviously, as always happened during that period, along with the rail and the station came more people, and this started to become a tourist town, obviously by the sea. So there was a church, but it was over in Linde. 1863 the townsfolk set a committee, a build committee going, as they wanted to build their own church here in Borth. Right, you'll have to bear with me people, as I said, this is only on my phone, so we'll do the best we can. Lovely wife is here helping me out as well. Right, so 1863 the local townspeople of Borth, due to the influx of fresh people coming and Borth becoming a tourist attraction, decided they wanted a church. So they set about and they put together a build committee to fund and to raise funds to build. The next mission was to find somewhere to physically build a church, because most of the town of Borth sits on sandy outcrop, which would be obviously no good, it'd sink. Luckily, about a mile in from the shore, they found an outcrop of stone, rock, left by the last ice age, that was ideal to build a church on, and it was close enough to the main town. Great. So funds was raised. In total, the cost of the build was around the £2,000 mark, and this is going to go back to 1874. The church was completed in 1876. That's when the first sermon took place here, and it was by the Reverend Trink, or Thrink, however you say it. It's a bit windswept here, as you can tell by the sideways beard. And spinning around. That's the seafront all along there. I couldn't find a lot of information really with regards to St Mathews, but apparently it fell into disuse around the late 70s, early 80s. Church records show that it is still in disuse, but I'll show you as we get around now. The other side of the church, there is scaffolding up as if there's works going on, so I don't know whether the records are wrong and the church is still being used. There's no service board or nothing up that I can find, or whether they are preparing the church for use, or maybe they're just, as should be, looking after the church and not letting it fall into disrepair, like has happened with so many others. again we've got a little information board. There is some watering cans and everything around, so I do think the church is now being used again. So maybe they haven't updated the records. But yeah, on the notice board, it does state that in 1875 there was a 13-year-old boy who was one of 300 children brought here from Uppingham School to try and get away from the typhoid outbreak that had happened there. So obviously they were trying to protect those children by shipping them down, and he came to this church. In fact, it does state then that he was in the school choir and that they stayed in the Cambrian Hotel just over in town. There was 18 large wagonfuls brought here of goods in the wagons, and then in 1900 he came back here to visit with his children. So obviously luckily he survived the typhoid outbreak at his school. So this is the scaffolding. I'll swap you round there. So as you can see, it's scaffolded over. There's no service times or anything being posted up. All the stained glass is still in. And it's got a nice little bell tower as well. It looks well kept, so I think the church might be back in use. Little wife.
Hi.
Right, there we are, people. It was only a quick dirty one today, as I haven't got hardly any of my equipment with me apart from the drone, my phone and my good wife. St Mathews Church in Borth, Mid Wales, built 1874, between 1874 and 1876. Looks to be back in everyday use, to be honest, from what we could see. This was a predominantly Welsh speaking area, so when James, the little boy that I spoke about earlier, with the other 300 schoolboys were brought here from Uppingham, I haven't searched where that is, they found it hard to understand the locals because obviously they were all Welsh speaking. The first English sermon was performed here in 1876. So there we are. I'll put the drone up, we'll have a look, see if I can get any footage. I don't know because of the wind, but we'll try. So thank you very much for watching. Please click like. If you would like to subscribe, please do subscribe. It helps me bring these videos out to you. Hit the icon bell, all the good stuff. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned, people.